Life's best moments are best captured by photography and video. You may ask, why photography and video? Because if a photo is worth 1,000 words, video is worth 1,000,000. And GPS photography and video will leave you speechless. GPS specializes in weddings, swords, fitness, and so much more. Book your next shoot today at 910-257-0526 or gpsphotoandvideo.com.
Welcome to the Amazon's podcast. I'm Glenn Young, owner of Amazon's Fitness Magazine. Celebrate the female physique. Subscribe to AmazonsFitMag.com. The podcast is brought to you by Maximus Posing Suits. Let your inner warrior shine. Custom-made competition suits for victory on every stage. MaximusPosingSuits.com. And, of course, GPS photography and video. Why photography and video? Because if a photo's worth 1,000 words, video's worth 1,000,000. GPSPhotoandVideo.com. My guest is just off the stage at the Optimum Classic last weekend. IFBB Women's Physique Pro, Luciana Esquilin. How are you?
I'm fantastic.
So glad you came on. The Optimum Classic is a show that's very special to you. Tell me why.
The Optimum Classic, it was my pro debut. It was also the only show that my dad couldn't make it to. He made it to 2 of the shows that I've done it 5 times. He made it twice. It's also one of the shows where I actually finally broke a top 5. So, yeah.
That's great. And you recently lost your dad 2 years ago. And I know he was a big fan of yours, and to have to take that year off just because, you know, of everything that you're going through, grief-stricken. How was it now to come back onto the stage after going through all of that?
Coming back to the stage, it was interesting. Besides losing my dad, I did have shortly after I lost my dad, had a brain aneurysm. Then I had to get my gallbladder taken out. So, wow. Yeah. So we were interested in seeing how my body was going to respond. I got put on new meds for ADHD, so we didn't know how all that was going to play a role in how prep goes. So I've been on prep since November just to see how my body responded. Hadn't been in show prep in over a year and a half. So honestly, mentally, the break did me good.
Okay.
Yeah. So
what caused the aneurysm?
The doctors don't know. They said I have narrow my veins going into my brain are narrowed, and then I have spots on my brain. But wow. When they did the angiogram, they said they don't know how long that spot's been there, or how long's the narrowed been. So they can't determine the cause. So I'd just be monitored by a neurologist now. So
and he cleared you good to go, no issues.
Yeah, I don't. At first, I had problems getting my speech out. Like my speech was delayed, and I'd forget my words. I couldn't get my words out. But I don't see any issues lately in the last 6 months or so. So
that's great. And the gallbladder, what was up with that?
I knew the gallbladder needed to come out for a while, but being a disabled veteran, the VA was fighting with me. Come to find out, it was severely diseased and twice its size. So therefore, before they took it out, about 6 or 7 months before they took it out, I couldn't even get a protein shake down without my stomach swelling. I ended up having allergies to eggs, beef, turkey, chicken, everything. Now
everything that you could have on a prep,
right? So peanut butter. But since having my gallbladder out, my digestive system is great. My skin has cleared up. My hair was falling out. My hair started growing back. So I can eat eggs again. I can eat chicken again. I can eat turkey again. So
that's great.
yeah, it was a good thing that needed to happen.
That's a heck of a recovery, and to
Yeah.
get back on the stage. So God bless you. That's good stuff.
Yeah.
And so that's something to overcome and something to be proud of as well, just to get back to the stage. Uh, you never thought of quitting, never thought of giving up, and the easiest thing would have been to quit. So proud of you. Good stuff. So also, your daughter graduates on Tuesday, goes to
Yes.
Cherry Sanford. I teach at Douglas Byrd, so we saw the rivals, but it
Yeah.
is what
Yeah,
it
you are.
is. But you look at the scoreboard. Hey, Douglas Byrd will be back, so we're not worried.
We creamed them in basketball though, so we made it
I,
all.
I know. I was I was there
Yeah.
because I was taking photos and stuff. What's she gonna do after she graduates?
She
Has
got
she
a
made
full
it clear?
ride scholarship to UNC Greensboro. So
Great.
yeah, she's graduating with honors. Very proud. Very, very proud.
Congratulations. What's she gonna? Is she gonna do sports in college, or what's she gonna major in?
My oldest daughter, she's the artist. She's the one
Okay.
who's responsible for like half my sleeve.
Oh, nice.
She's going for art education.
Okay.
Yeah.
So she's looking at her doing more tattoos down the road, or
Yeah, she said if
graphic
art
design.
education doesn't pan out, she's going to be a tattoo artist.
There you go. Well, hey, they need them, and a
Yeah.
lot of that originates from art and graphic design and all
Yes.
that stuff. That because I teach Adobe Visual Design 1 and 2, which is Photoshop and Illustrator. So yeah, that's great. Proud of her. Good stuff.
Yeah. My youngest is the one that's the basketball player. She graduates next year. So
Okay.
yeah.
So was that a stressor on you? Because it's like this is the most important time of her life. Graduating high school, you're getting ready for the stage, and she just came off prom as well. So how did you handle all that? What was that conversation like?
It was an interesting balance. My husband is very hands-on with everything.
Right.
I'm very spoiled. He does a lot. I do the bare minimum. But since he's been working at night lately, it's been a little bit of adjustment having to run around. Normally, when I'm done with work and I can relax and ease my mind. But now when I'm done with work, I've got to run around, get up people from basketball practice, get them from work, get them from this, get them from that. So it was a little bit of adjustment, but everybody this is everyday life, learn how to balance it. And yeah.
But it was funny because I saw you at the Charlotte Pro, gave me this big ass hug, never let on that you was gonna do the optimum class. So that's one of those things. Do you see that, you never want to announce that you're doing a show? Is that sort of like taboo? That was one of the things Sharonica Hinton, you never wanted to announce, when you're doing a show. Even though everybody see you and they say you're prepping for something,
yeah.
You ain't just working out.
For my mental, I do that. Like even Sharonica, she called me. She's like, I seen your name on the roster. You didn't let me know. I was like,
yeah.
So I was like, yeah, I kept it under wraps, because I didn't want. I'm very hard on myself.
Right.
And and I can get in my head looking at other people getting ready, and
right.
and I don't know if you noticed for the past month and a half I stopped posting even my body because I didn't want to compare myself to others that I thought might be doing the show.
Right.
So yeah, I do it just for my mental health.
I got you.
So.
Are you planning to do another show this year?
I am. Yes. Okay. I can't go out like I did. I can't go out like. Yeah, I'm getting my husband ready for nationals first. So he's Master Nationals in Pittsburgh. So
in July.
Yeah.
Okay, great. He does classic physique?
Classic physique, yeah.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Yeah, he was right there last year. He got third place. He was right there. His first national show. So
it's gonna happen. Yeah,
without a shadow of a doubt.
He's looking great. So
yeah.
That's good stuff. Give him my best. Tell him, hey, you need to come back to do another photo shoot.
I definitely will.
For the ladies and stuff. For you as well. But yeah, he had some good stuff going on. Both of you did that day. We did that photo shoot. So
yeah, he did.
Y'all both will continue. And let me know when you want to shoot. I know you will have some stress on you and stuff like that, but definitely want to do it again. If y'all want to see her pictorial layout, of course, go to amazonsfitmag.com, subscribe. And you'll see those photos. We only posted like one or two on Instagram. Hey, when you work that hard and look that good, people need to pay for the show. That's all there is.
They
to it.
absolutely do.
Stop flexing and all the stuff everybody's doing on Instagram. Hey, they need to pay for the gun show. That's all there is to it.
Totally agree.
But, so I mean, how long have you been competing now?
My first show was 2012.
Okay.
Yeah, I did the state show here in North Carolina.
But you've always been women's physique, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
They tried to convince me to go to bodybuilding. No, I lied. I forgot. My first show, I was bodybuilding. But they told me if I would have stepped on stage as women's physique, I would have took the whole show. I got, I don't know if you remember Juliana
Malakari.
No, Hoggles. Julian Hoggles. She hasn't competed in a while. She went pro a couple years ago. I stood next to her.
Okay.
And I was a $140, and her legs were bigger than my torso. So, and then 2 weeks later, she got a pro card. So, but after that, I've been women's physique the whole time.
Yeah. So the biggest thing has been all about women's physique this year. It was all about women's bodybuilding. Last year, y'all not showing up at the shows, or they were not showing up at shows. And then I know you've seen everything in the news with, out there at the St. Louis Pro, and Jack and Auntie Tony, promoted saying that women's physique would no longer be at the St. Louis Pro. And of course, you and I talk all the time. We want to see it come back to Charlotte.
Yes.
Last time it was at Charlotte was the Charlotte Europa, which Veronica won. So
I've been talking. I hand out trophies at Johnny shows all the time.
Johnny Stewart promoter. Yep.
Telling him, you know how many WPD pros you have in the Carolinas.
Yes.
We would all show up.
In Charlotte alone, there's like 4.
We would all show up.
Sequita Barrino, who was on the cover of Amazon's Fitness magazine. I mean, but hopefully it'll turn. And I think it's been a good year. There's been a lot of conversation about women's physique. Everything went on to Arnold. And then you see the prize money is going up. Everything that went on to New York Pro, Sharonica Hinton, classic physique. And everybody keeps saying classic physique, but that's what women's physique by definition is
supposed to look like. Yes,
exactly.
When Sharonica won it, for those of us that actually have the traditional women's physique look, it was a win for all of us.
Right.
It was a win for all of us.
I was elated, and then all the noise going up to it. And I'm like, and really, everybody just hadn't done the research, because they had done the research, they would have seen that she's a 4-time Olympian.
Exactly.
Even if they looked at my YouTube channel, like, well, dang, Glenn's got a lot of content out there between on Sharonica, they would have known, hey, she used to be here. So I guess I had the inside story, but I just wish, they'd have dug a little bit further.
Hey, but it was a bigger that made the smack in the face even more sweeter, though. So
it did. And all because they didn't do it. And Marika Jones, great, looks beautiful. And but the thing about it, all the stuff that was coming out, I was like, man, y'all didn't even read. Take a little time and look it up. You would have known about Sharonica Hinton. But they know now.
They know now.
Yeah. And then to see her interview with Bob Chicarilla, and he's saying that hey, now maybe girls your size will now do more shows. Because the talk's been that women's physique is not showing up at the shows. What's your take on that? Why is women's physique not showing up at the shows at the time of the year? What's your thoughts?
Honestly, the look that they're going for some of us is unattainable. I know I cannot get my glutes. I've tried for 12 years. Or not 12 years. Yeah, I've tried for 12 years to get my body that dry and peeled and shredded, and I can't get it. And so I know, if I know, like, I actually had Tampa Pro lined up, but number 3, Zambora, however you say her name, she's doing Tampa Pro. I backed out because I'm not standing next to someone. One, she's massive, and then I'm not going to stand next to someone who's got literally, it looks like she don't have her skin on. She's that peeled. That's an unattainable look. That's not WPD. It's not. And then in the years past, you had all these people who are already qualified for the Olympia continue doing shows, kicking us out. Last year, we only had 15 women in 15 WPD in the Olympia, because you had so many people kicking all these other people out, doing it. And, this is an expensive sport. This is the only sport that pro athletes have to pay money
Mm-hmm.
to compete in, and we get nothing out of it. We don't even get, if it wasn't for you, some of us wouldn't even be acknowledged at all,
Yeah.
and it's rough on your body, it's rough on your finances, it's rough on your family, and then
It's,
to know that you're going to get stomped by someone who has they've got the formula, but that's
mm-hmm.
not the look.
Right.
And they keep rewarding the size and and the shreds. We're not supposed to be as shredded and peeled and dry as a bodybuilder.
Right.
You've got some WPD women out there more shredded than the bodybuilders, and
Yeah.
that's not WPD.
And all the WPDs, women's physique division that have moved up to bodybuilding, have done well.
They've done amazing. They
really have. Angela Yo, Ashley Jones. I mean, the list goes on, and they're definitely going to contend. Angela Yo already contending.
Yeah.
And I have no doubt that Ashley's going to contend for a title too.
I can't wait to see that.
The champion, right? Andrea Shaw, going for 5. She was women's physique as well.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember, I think back to our interview, and everybody can look it up. I asked you, is women's physique like the minor leagues and being just waiting to get pulled up to the big leagues that is women's bodybuilding?
Yeah. I'm not. I will not. I will not. I will hang up that suit.
Gotcha.
Being formerly 280 pounds, off season already is tough enough for me to see that scale up.
Yeah.
I can't imagine stepping on stage 180, 100, 200 pounds because I would know what I'd have to. And they are phenomenal. They look beautiful with it, but that's not a look that I like. Because at the end of the day, the stage is just a portion of our life.
Right. I love both divisions, women's physique and women's bodybuilding. All 6, bikini, wellness, figure, fitness, and of course, physique and women's bodybuilding. And you got to market them all as a whole. I think is a set. But that was the biggest reason why I wrote or started Amazon's Fitness magazine, because I've heard everything that when it came to women's bodybuilding, they didn't want to see them on the stage. Nobody wants to look like that. Nobody's going to buy tickets for that. And I like all this like visceral hate. And I like, that's why I started it. But at the same time, market all 6 divisions because all of you are Amazons, in my opinion.
Now, don't get me wrong. The bodybuilding women are phenomenal women.
They are.
I just would never move up. I don't want to look like that. I like the athletic build.
Right.
Yeah, coming from being a basketball player, the athletic build is what I like.
Right.
So.
And you can't beat it. I love both divisions. You have similar poses like abdominals and thighs for one. And when you look at it, everything that's spinning around now, the prize money is going up. But when and last year, everybody was talking about Natalia Coelho, how many shows she was doing. The same with Jessica Reyes Padilla, that they were taking someone's slot. But at the end of the day, you are competing against the best of the best. And it's not just good or just enough just to get to the Olympia stage, but you want to contend for a title. Yeah. So you get there, and that's definitely reason to celebrate. You're one of the best in the world. But at the same time, you don't want to just get there, win a show, and then get crushed, and that's, how do you think about that? What's your takeaway? Like, wow, I thought I was good. And that's the same thing when people look at the strategy. Well, I'll go to this show. You can't control who's going to show up and who's not going to show up.
Exactly.
And the judge can only judge who shows up. And so, strategically, if it happens to be just 3 people on stage and you qualify for the Olympia, boom, good for you. But realistically, hey, I still got a ways to go. I punched my ticket and I punched it early, because if you qualified, in the earlier shows, now you got 20, 25 weeks, 30 weeks in some cases to get ready for the Olympia. So that's a plus. But at the same time now, when you look at the Texas Pro, Sarah Villegas, she's setting the standard. And of course, she has always done this, as she did in the Pittsburgh Pro last year. And of course, the Texas Pro last year. But when that happens, when the prize money goes up, the big dog's coming out, Like, I'm not going to do it. I'm qualified for the Olympia. and they're like, "Oh snap, $20,000."
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm getting ready to do this, and so you're gonna get the higher echelon, if you will, coming out to that show, and because the prize money is there, hey, this is really worth it. So hopefully that's going to continue to happen, that the prize money will continue to go up, and at the same time that's going to bring all the women out to the shows because now it's worth it.
Yeah.
So now I'm not just breaking even, I'm making a profit. I'm
Exactly.
not just like going to a local show because it's a home game. Now I am going to go out to the Triple O Dynasty in Arizona, and I am going to go to Texas for the Texas Pro because of the prize money is steadily going up. And I already announced with the Triple O Dynasty as well that the prize money is going up. So I like the trend, but at the same time, promoters have to feel that they're going to make a profit. They have to feel that it's worth it because that sanction fee, they like, what's my return on investment? So I see both sides of the story, and I'm hoping that at the end of the season, they can have a summit or a conference in both divisions, women's physique, women's bodybuilding, all 6 divisions really, get into a room with the promoters and the powers that be and work it out, because you want to come to a show and you want to see, if you love women's bodybuilding, you want to see it at the show. If you love women's physique, same thing, and so hopefully it's a good trend. I'm seeing a lot of good conversations are being had, and that's a good thing.
That's good. That's good to know.
Yeah. Now and this is what somebody needs to know, people need to understand too. You were at the Tampa Pro, which had the largest number of women's physique a couple of years back.
2019.
Yeah. How many was on stage?
45.
45.
We look like a bikini up there. Just a sea of bodies.
And so there were 45 in 2019 at the Tampa Pro.
And they were all just, I don't know how they judged that show, because everyone that was there that year was phenomenal. Like, I don't know how they judged it.
And that was Tim Gardner's show. Do you remember what the prize money was to that one?
I don't remember. I think it was like $2,000.
So, and of course, Florida, a lot of women's physique competitors are in Florida. But, you got to think Tim Gardner's like, okay, I got Chicago, I got Tampa, I'm going to bring that prize money up, and he's going to blow it away. And historically, there have always been large numbers at the Tampa because, okay, this is like one of the last shows to get that qualification to so I'm going to do it.
But I did it the last 2022. I did it, and I think there was 25 women.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, good on him. And another thing, that you got to look at, how is the show being promoted? You're in Tampa, okay, versus Omaha, St. Louis, Arizona. Too expensive to go out there. It just depends,
Yeah.
I said I would love to see it come back to the Charlotte Pro-Am, and because hey, now if you're a fan, I can drive 2 hours to Charlotte,
Exactly.
and, see it and be like, and not be tired. I could even go up for the prejudging, come back, and then drive up the next day for the finals. But just have to see. But I like the trend that I'm seeing. Hopefully, it's going to continue to turn and it'll come out positive. And for the most part, I think it has been positive. But now Sarah Vegas has laid down the gauntlet in 20K, and I think all 10 spots are going to get money.
Yep, all 10.
Then she's looking at flying the national qualifier women in for the show. So if you qualify nationally, then you compete at the Texas Pro. So
I think that's awesome.
She's setting the standard, and I think people do look harder at women promoters.
Yeah,
they just do. I mean, if a male promoter, doesn't have women's physique or women's bodybuilding, like, oh, okay, well, that's what they expected. Oh, huh. But if you get a female promoter and she doesn't have women's physique or women's bodybuilder at the show, dare I say, all 6 women's divisions, it hits a little different, because like, okay, I mean, can you imagine a Triple O Dynasty without women's bodybuilding or women's physique or figure? It's not going to happen. So I hope that continues to roll on from there, and we'll just have to see. Overall, though, what's been the season's about halfway over. like I said, I think everything's been mostly positive. What's your thoughts on it?
I think it's a little disheartening to see the little numbers that's showing up to the shows.
Right.
That's been concerning because I'm like, and we actually thought that my husband was like, there was hardly any at the St. Louis Pro. There was
Plenty
hardly,
5.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Then what was the other
Three
one?
in,
Was
three in Pittsburgh.
There was 3 in Pittsburgh, and there was only 9 in New York.
Yeah.
And my husband was like, well, they're all going to show up in Shreveport. We get the listeners 8.
Right. Okay.
And you're like, okay, what shows are they doing? Are they waiting until later in the year? Because if you think about it, there's not a lot of shows for WPD in the States. Like half our is overseas, and some of us don't have that kind of money to be able to fly, overseas. And
right.
So
like the Alina Popa Classic in September.
Mm-hmm. Or the Toronto Pro, or
right, the Toronto Pro that's coming up here.
Yeah.
But then you see that gauntlet: Atlanta Pro, Chicago Pro, Tampa Pro. Those 3 shows I think are going to be huge because they're shows that people can get to.
Gotcha.
They're premier shows. Linda Mary, Tim Gardner. You don't need to say nothing else, and I think they promote them well, and we'll see what happens. But hope it's going to continue to grow and go from there. But Atlanta Pro is in 6 weeks.
Yeah,
and Chicago is right there behind it.
Yeah, I had that one lined up, but I'd rather focus on my husband and my daughter for right now. Right. So I pulled out of that one.
I got so totally understand because you got a lot going on this year.
Yeah,
your daughter's graduating, and then your husband's got to go to national and get that pro card.
So we can do a show together.
I was gonna ask that because that would be the ultimate.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
The same show, and that would be an interesting prep.
Well, we're doing it basically right now together. So because he's on prep and I'm on prep. So the worst part about it is the massive amount of food we have to cook.
Yeah, and that's something I haven't talked about. But inflation and the price of food that's gone up is ridiculous. And so that definitely affects the bodybuilding community.
Yeah, we used to be able to go to the store.
People, but you guys, geez.
Yeah.
What do you normally use on prep? Chicken or fish or steak?
Thank God I did not have to do any fish this prep.
Okay.
Normally my body don't move and I have to go to fish and I can't stand fish. But no, beef and chicken and eggs.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the eggs was high too.
Man,
they started to come down a little bit now.
What's saving me is one of my clients. She's a retired doctor and went and bought a farm, and she supplies me with eggs every week. And I'm like, that's Then she supplies it. She was giving us asparagus, which helps.
Right.
So we had a
little
little
bit. Great avenue. Reach out to people that raise their own, including chickens, including the eggs.
Yeah.
And reach out to these farmers. Sometimes you can get a good deal. So.
Yeah,
it just is what it is, and it couldn't have happened at a worse time. Going into prep season and the price of food going up.
Yeah.
What's your plan? Daughter graduates on Tuesday. She's off to college, and she reports to college in August, roughly.
Mid-August, yeah.
And then you have another senior at home. Now you can say she's a senior, as her sister's graduating. Is that your last child?
Yeah, she is my youngest. Yeah.
And she plays basketball heavy in the sports.
Yeah, she plays basketball. She runs track. She's her main events are the 100. She does the 300 hurdles, and she does long jump. And then she's
the track season just ended.
Yeah.
And I guess Lena asked you a question: how do you find the balance in time? Everybody's situation, of course, is different. But you had health, your husband going into prep, you're in prep, one daughter graduating, the other daughter just finished off the track season. What's that been like to find the balance and everything?
It has been difficult. Basketball seasons, sometimes I'm at the school at 10 o'clock at night and I get up at 4 o'clock. The good part about me is I work so early that I'm done by 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Right. I have to go back to work for a couple hours because I am the manager. So I go back for a couple hours, and then by that time it's time to pick up kids and drop them where they got to go. And
right.
and stuff like that. She get about 30 minutes to sit on the couch.
And where do you work at?
The Spa Fitness and Wellness Center. It's a floofy gym where it's got a whole day spa, a whole.
Is that the one that used to be called the Renaissance?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah. Sharonica worked there when she was here.
She sure did.
So now they changed the name and under new ownership. But yeah, it's
they changed the name because they split.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, they split. So,
but that's a very ritzy, high class deal. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you got a lot going on. Yeah. But it's a great place, no question.
Oh yeah.
And what does your husband do?
He used to work with people with disabilities like autism and Down syndrome. Right. But we got him certified, took a leap of faith, and now he's actually at the spa training with me. So
good stuff.
Yeah.
Luciana Esquilin, thanks for coming on. Thanks for your time. As always, keep me posted on the upcoming show and, of course, the upcoming photo shoot as well. So I really appreciate you.
Thank you so much for having me.
Take care. Talk soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye. There you have it, Luciana Esquilin, just off the Optimum Classic. She's got a lot going on, and it's really about balance. I always enjoy talking to her about the women's physique division, and the upcoming photo shoot will be forthcoming as well as she continues through the season. The May issue is out. If you go on the AmazonsFitMag.com website, click on issues, and then you can order your copy from the print link. My copies, I always usually order 10 copies, sometimes 20 copies. They will be in on the 6th, and all those that's purchased it, I'll ship those out post haste, so you'll have your copy of the May issue of Amazon's Fitness Magazine featuring Teresa Vancic on the cover. She wrote the article, The Art of Bodybuilding, so you want to check that out. Tomorrow night at 7:30, Jamie Hart will be joining the podcast and see what she's got going on as she is getting ready to do a show here. And very excited to talk to her, as well as shoot her before her next show. So Jamie Hart will be on at 7:30. And then the interview that everybody's been waiting for at 6:30 tomorrow, 6:30 p.m., fourth in the world, Sherry Priami will be joining Amazon's podcast. We'll find out what she's doing, what's going on, what will be her show. And she's getting ready for something because she looks great. Recent photos and video clips of her working out. So excited to see and excited to talk to her as well. Fourth in the world, Sherry Priami. That's at 6:30 tomorrow, 6:30 p.m. So that being said, as always, and it just keeps on rolling, thanks for all the new subscribers to the Amazon's Fitness Magazine YouTube channel, and of course to the AmazonFitMag.com website. I'm really excited about the number of women that have subscribed to the site as well. So that tells me I think I'm doing everything right, trending in the right direction, because to have balance of everyone. I mean, at the end of the day, the recipe for failure is trying to please everyone, but at the same time, you still got to cook the meal and got to eat. So that being said, see you guys tomorrow night. Celebrate the female physique. Subscribe to AmazonFitMag.com.
Life's best moments are best captured by photography and video. You may ask, why photography and video? Because if a photo is worth 1,000 words, video is worth 1,000,000. And GPS photography and video will leave you speechless. GPS specializes in weddings, swords, fitness, and so much more. Book your next shoot today at 910-257-0526 or gpsphotoandvideo.com.